IT leaders, I get it. Change is hard, and your teams take immense pride in what they've built. I've managed IT teams. I've been there. I know how personal this work feels. But here's the deal. AI isn't a checkbox. It's not the next buzzword to fade away. We're at an inflection point that will redefine every aspect of IT, and let me be bold, likely every aspect of our world. So over the next 20 minutes, I'll show you how to tackle AI head on, how to deliver immediate impact, and share real world examples of peers who have done exactly that. There is a better way. And why change? Look, I've listened to CIOs at NASIO asking, what do we even use AI for? They're exploring use cases for AI knowing they don't have the resources to pull it all. Think, do you have the people? Do you have the infrastructure? Do you have the experience? Oh, and by the way, all of that costs money, right? Then they have CISOs in their ear warning that attackers are weaponizing AI against them. That's a lot of noise. And how do you not fall behind? I mean, I know no one wants to be playing catch up, but you're on the cusp, right? But look, change isn't optional. It's essential. Today, I'll give you a roadmap to bring clarity to this daunting shift, how to inject new life into your IT teams, enable safe AI deployments with visibility, automation, and remediation, and put guardrails in place to satisfy those AI policies. And you'll hear directly from others and how this can all pay for itself. Now, you might be thinking, Steve, we've heard that type of hype before. What's really different now? Stick with me here. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly where to start and what's different this time. So, folks, welcome to Thriving in Ambiguity, where we'll make sense of tech's biggest complexities. I'm Steve Mancini, your host and partner in tackling today's toughest IT leadership challenges. Let's begin with one public sector team and how they turned firefighting into forward-thinking innovation. Let's start with the state of Minnesota. During COVID, their unemployment insurance portal leapt from an average of 638,000 visitors a month to 6.6 million. I mean, if I could do that to this channel, think about the monetization there. I could do this full time. You're probably like, please no, we don't want to hear that much of you. Anyway, their back-end systems weren't built for this type of load. And I can only imagine the scramble. Teams chasing one bottleneck after another, stitching together those logs, looking at metrics, following the traces across a dozen different tools. What a mess. They knew they needed a better path forward. So they turned to Gartner and they looked and said, hey, who's the leader in observability? And Dynatrace was at the top. So they called them for help. And right away, Dynatrace's observability traced and mapped their entire environment, revealed every dependency, and delivered not just answers, but remediation guidance. And in weeks, Minnesota's IT team reclaimed roughly 40 full-time workdays a month, moving engineers out of the war rooms and got them back to innovating where they belong. Now, remember back to what I just said earlier. You don't have the people or the time to get this all done. Maybe you do. Maybe you just have to do things a little bit different. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Steve, this all sounds great, but it's a nightmare to deploy. How are we going to deploy all this? And actually, it's far simpler than you'd expect. You don't have to take my word for it. Do a proof of concept, okay? And you'll see actionable insights within hours. And by the end of the day, your team will have the clarity, just like they did in Minnesota. Now, let's fast forward to today, and Dynatrace's Gen 3 takes that impact even further. See, Dynatrace learned from customers like Minnesota, and they evolved their AI so it can do more than just point out problems. And it started on the back end. Um, Grail's data lakehouse is now a custom-built SaaS environment, ingesting petabytes instantaneously. No more log pipeline delays. That speed and scale let Davis AI run in real time. See, Davis's causal and predictive AI finds the root cause, understanding complete context, and then it uses generative AI to translate that into plain English fixes. And because it understands your code, your topology, Gen 3 can write and deploy remediation code on the fly with no human intervention in the loop. Imagine if Minnesota was armed with Gen 3, reclaiming weeks of effort not only by diagnosing issues, but by actually fixing them automatically. I mean, it's crazy, right? But yet, it's exactly where AI is taking us. And it frees your teams to focus on what really matters and take a moment to process that. This is real and it's a game changer. Now, I want to share something personal because this next example really hits home. As an IT manager, one of the most frustrating and honestly embarrassing experiences is when an end user or customer calls to tell you that your application is down. I know you know exactly what I mean. There's that sinking feeling of, how do I not already know about this? Then your team scrambles around to identify the issue, digging through those logs, those metrics, those traces from a dozen different tools that don't even talk to each other. It's painful, it's inefficient, and quite frankly, it's exhausting for everyone. Now, TD Bank knows a thing or two about this. And Chris Conklin, their technology executive, he shared his experiences. He wrote this: previously, we lacked visibility into how our customers were interacting with our solutions. We often received calls into our contact center when issues arose. And rather than being able to identify them proactively, if you think about the time it takes to make a call, have somebody listen, then escalate a response, 30 minutes to an hour have gone by. We could have easily avoided that if we had the right solution in place. There's many options out there, and believe me, we've tried them. But if you look at the track record of Dynatrace, there's constant innovation that really drives progress. Dynatrace gives us the ability to look at all of our critical functions and services and dig into what's driving the experience for our customers. And what happened when TD Bank leveraged the advanced capabilities of Dynatrace's latest generation, Gen 3? I mean, let's be honest. No one's ever got promoted because your app crashed again and again and again, and you fixed it quickly, right? But hey, you might have a shot with these type of metrics. They saw a 45% reduction in monitoring tools and infrastructure costs. 45%. 75% of incident resolution tasks were automated through AI. And customer irritants dropped by 60%, and transaction failures were reduced by 10 basis points. Think about that impact. I did mention that cost was a concern. What if there is significant money to be saved? Could that fund this whole transformation? Now, that's promotion material. Now, TD Bank's IT teams weren't bogged down in firefighting anymore. They weren't constantly apologizing in war rooms or scrambling for answers. Instead, they could rely on Dynatrace's AI, which operated at a speed and scale that no human, no matter how talented, could match. But let me be clear. This isn't about replacing your best people. It's about empowering them By offloading routine troubleshooting and incident response to AI, your top talent can focus on what's truly strategic, implementing transformational technologies like AI into other areas of your business, creating new customer experiences, and driving real innovation with all of that saved cash and your new promotion that you just got. And that was all in the first 10 minutes. So now that I've gotten your workforce back, I found you some money to pay for things, and your teams are thinking about what's next rather than what just went wrong. That's exactly what TD Bank achieved with Dynatrace. And your team can do that too. And on that note, do me a favor. Think about your own teams for a minute. How much time are they spending on firefighting versus actually innovating? Now, let's shift gears and talk about SAP. This is a great one. And the stories, they honestly just keep getting better, don't they? Their story highlights what it really means to leverage AI for true operational excellence. SAP is a global software leader serving more than 437,000 customers worldwide. And they recognized early on the need to get as close to zero downtime as possible. Martin Lorado Aurora, the Vice President of CX Observability and Automation Foundations at SAP, explained this. Dynatrace is critical to understanding our customers' environments and driving our mission to reduce downtime to zero. We can now ensure that every team and our customers have a single source of data so that they can quickly understand why a service has gone down and how to resolve it with minimal impact. Dynatrace has had a significant impact on peak seasons such as Black Friday. Previously, our senior leaders would have sleepless nights afraid of customer calls about outages, and with Dynatrace, we can rest easy. The impact for SAP has been extraordinary. Mean time to discovery dropped from 3 hours to less than 1 minute. Customer notification time reduced to under 2 minutes. And service level agreement violations decreased dramatically from 16% down to just 0.1%. Are you kidding me? The cost savings alone from those violations likely paid for the whole project. And they have so much more now. I mean, look, SAP could have thrown more people at the problem. That's probably people's initial reaction. Hey, things aren't where we need it to be. Hire more people. That costs so much money. Instead, they consolidated multiple tools into one platform. Think about it. A single platform delivering measurable value and true peace of mind. It's incredible knowing Dynatrace is the secret sauce behind SAP's reliability. And yes, that could absolutely be your story too. That's it for the stories. And I know you're like, I get it, Steve, but let's just take a minute to address a few other concerns I've heard out in the wild. Things like traditional security and AI security compliance. Dynatrace Gen 3 enhances your existing security posture. It provides detailed visibility into data flows and real-time correlation of events. Now, let me be clear. It doesn't replace your current security tools. Instead, it complements and strengthens them. See, with Dynatrace, you can see precisely what's in memory. You can understand log data in real time, and you can rapidly respond to incidents. Think of Dynatrace as your co-pilot, helping your security team swiftly track threats across your entire environment, ensuring comprehensive visibility and faster remediation, keeping your data secure. At the same time, Gen 3 specifically tackles AI compliance concerns with its AI-driven anomaly detection and immediate automated remediation. You're safeguarded against threats that exploit AI vulnerabilities because remember, the platform understands all of your systems and the context that they operate under. Now, let's explore some emerging AI workloads, starting with retrieval augmented generation, RAG. See, with Dynatrace's Gen 3, you gain visibility into critical metrics such as vector database latency, large language model accuracy, and real-time guardrails against hallucinations. Moreover, Dynatrace helps you record and audit prompts and AI responses, which are essential for compliance and accountability if some user claims that, they acted inappropriately based on your AI's guidance. And then there's token usage. Token usage tracking is another vital aspect. Each prompt, successful or failed, incurs a cost. Dynatrace provides deep visibility, allowing quick resolution for any token-related issues, ensuring cost-effective management of your AI initiatives. And if you're unsure of what tokens are, be sure I'm not talking about the ones that you used to use on a bus or in an arcade. Tokens are like currency for large language models, and wasting tokens on failed prompts is like throwing money away. Dynatrace helps you control that spend, ensuring that every token counts, and it supplies precise guardrails to ensure that your AI implementations align with policy requirements, enhancing your security and compliance posture simultaneously. And the last hot topic is Edge and Internet of Things, as AI represents another fast-growing frontier. Dynatrace extends observability seamlessly into the distributed edge environment, which is essential for organizations rapidly adopting IoT. Real-time insights ensure performance, security, and optimal operational status, enabling confident management and scaling of complex edge deployments. So what specifically does Dynatrace Gen 3 bring to your table? Let's just do a quick review. It's built around three core technologies. First, the Grail data lakehouse. This provides real-time, seamless ingestion of massive telemetry data. Think about all of your logs, your metrics, your traces, all instantly queryable. This eliminates data bottlenecks and delays, providing immediate visibility into your entire environment. Second, Smartscape technology mapping continuously visualizes your entire IT ecosystem, uncovering every dependency across multi-cloud, hybrid, and containerized environments. Your teams see issues in context, allowing faster, more accurate decisions. And finally, there's Davis AI, which has evolved to include generative capabilities. It doesn't just predict and diagnose problems, it proactively writes remediation code, resolving issues before they impact your end users. See, these technologies together ensure your teams aren't buried under data. They're empowered by its insight. Now, I promised you an actionable roadmap. First, start small. Deploy Dynatrace in a controlled environment. Measure the hours reclaimed by automating monitoring and incident resolution. Next, communicate these quick wins internally. Show your teams the immediate value and ease their concerns about leveraging AI for observability and remediation. And finally, strategically redirect the time you've saved to high-impact projects. Exploring and implementing AI in new areas of your business and drive innovation and enhance your competitive advantage. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'd love to hear your stories. Obviously, I love stories. Email me directly at steve@thrivinginambiguity.com or connect with me on LinkedIn. Let's keep the conversation going. And on an upcoming episode, we'll dive deeper into Gen 3, and we'll have two special guests, Greg Hedstrom, Senior VP and General Manager of North America, and Steve Harris, General Manager of Dynatrace's public sector business, and they'll share their perspective of what Gen 3 brings to customers. But until then, keep embracing change, leading boldly, and thriving in ambiguity. That's it, folks.